Don Gill. You know, one of the most enjoyable things about being involved with the program is we not only get to tell you about interesting things that are going on in the community and what services are available, but also to meet a lot of people and people who have an interesting story to tell. And such, I think, is our case today with our special guest. We welcome Ruth Sorensen. Ruth, welcome to Live and Learn.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you here. You know, a few weeks ago, my wife and I were we were dinner guests at Savannah Pines, a retirement center, and Ruth and her friend were our dinner guests, and we were talking about things, of course, and somewhere in the conversation, Ruth mentioned that she worked during World War II at the old bomber plant, the Martin plant in Omaha. And I responded and said, well, oh, that's where the Enola Gay, the plane that dropped the atom bomb on Japan, was built. And very calmly, Ruth says, yes, I worked on it. Well, being a history of students myself, I thought, my gosh, you know, one of the world's most famous airplanes, one of the greatest events of modern history took place, and in a way, Ruth was a part of all that. Well, we'll talk about that, and of course about Ruth's later life, which was really her heart and soul as she worked in developmental disabilities. But first, Ruth, let's see, you're a native Nebraskan.
Yes, born in Antelope County.
Antelope County.
Raised on a farm.
Were you born on the farm or in town?
I think I was born in town someplace.
It was a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you went to school at where?
I graduated, we had 8 years in a rural school, and then into Clearwater to graduate from high school, and went on from there.
Well, those were the days when you could teach with a high school degree. That's
Yes.
what you did?
In high school, we took normal training, and we taught right out of high school, and I taught in different rural schools for 3 years.
3 years.
And it was whether you have 8 grades and a whole bunch of kids. You started the fire and hauled the
That's right.
water and stuff like that.
You learn a lot about yourself, don't you? How to get along. Did you like teaching or not?
No, I didn't. I didn't like teaching at all. It was, well, for one thing, at that time, it was the only thing that girls could do is go teach school, and you get $45 a month to teach school, and maybe pay 15 or 20 for board and room. So it was not a money-making project, and I didn't enjoy it at all.
Well, it was a tough time too there,
Yes,
just
it
before
was.
World War II, the Depression, the drought, a lot of things.
And I couldn't afford to go on to school anymore, so ended up going into Omaha and getting work there.
So you did a few things there, and then you went to work for the new Martin bomber plant there.
Yes, ended up out at the Glenelg Martin plant.
And they were first making, I see a
yes.
picture here, the Martin Marauder.
That's the 26, yes.
B-26.
We worked on the 26s, and the last one went out in March of '44, I think, and we then started working on the 29.
Yeah, I think I read that they had produced something like 1,500 B-26s.
Yes,
and then went into the
the 26s were used widely in by the South African Air Force.
Now, what was your specialty in airplane construction?
Usually, I had the unique experience of going from one section to another, one place for another. I went through sub-assembly. I went through, worked on the props, and that's on the
Well, we're looking
engines,
at what we're looking at are a few pictures here of how women were involved in World War II.
Women did everything. We worked right alongside of the men, and back in those days, our starting salary, if I remember right, was for women 35 cents an hour, and for men 45.
Wow.
So,
Did you ever wear a snood?
no, I didn't have to do that in my work.
I guess some
but-
jobs where they were around machinery, why?
Yes,
And-
but I did work, ended up working on the nose section electrical
Uh-huh.
and installed wiring and
You know, this was a time when the United States was really needing workers, and there was quite an advertising campaign going on to attract them, and this is one of the more famous posters.
yeah, that was widely spread. They used to, people always tease me about rosing the riveter. I've never riveted.
Never riveted,
I
huh?
did once and caused the rivet to go right on through, so that was my last experience.
Oh,
I
dear.
was not allowed to do that anymore, but I worked generally with electric and in the nose section where all of the instruments and stuff were.
Mhm.
And we knew that one ship coming through was special because the Air Force was hanging around just on our backs
Oh, the
day after
B-29,
day,
uh-huh.
watching everything. And we were installing wiring for a hole in the panel that there
Mhm.
was no instrument for. We didn't know what that instrument was, but eventually we found out it was the Norden bomb sight.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that the Norden bomb sight guided Enola Gay to Japan.
Mm.
And later all of the ships had a Norden bomb sight, but it didn't get installed in Enola Gay till the Air Force bought it.
The
And,
B-29, of course, was what they called the Super Fortress,
yes,
and there were 500 of those were made at the Martin plant. And I was looking through my files to find a picture of the Enola Gay, the plane that actually dropped the atom bomb, and here it is, piloted by Captain Tibbets. And when did you find out that this was the plane that you folks had worked on was the one that dropped the bomb?
I think it came out when the publicity came out. They
Mhm.
let us know at the the plant that it was our ship, and or we had worked on it. Put it that way, and as soon as it dropped the bomb, everybody knew.